All right, Mike Diaz coming to you with another ball review. Here are my specs. About 16 miles an hour, 300 RPMs, around 55 degrees of axis rotation. Today we're going to look at the new Storm level with the new Regenerative Polymer Matrix cover stock. It's a brand new ball, brand new cover in the Storm's new Lab series. This ball is a 2.60 differential 0.026. I drilled it 4.5 by 3 by 1 3/4, and we're going to compare it to an IQ78 drilled at 4 3/4 by 3 by 1 3/4. This is on a 37-foot sport pattern at Holiday Lanes in Lakewood, Colorado. I found this ball to be very forgiving, very smooth. It really feels like it just rolls from the time I let it go to the time it gets to the pins. It's a ball that I think when they get tricky, especially on the 37 to 39 foot patterns, I think this is going to be a really good transition ball for me between an IQ78 and something like an Ion Pro. I can get this ball in control all the way down the lane. I know exactly where it's going. If I do something like that where I overthrow it a little bit, it's going to push too long. It's a ball you can't force down the lane. You've got to let it just roll. And on this shot, I went a little bit straighter, tried to get up the back of it a little bit. Now this last shot, I'm going to go around it a little bit. So you do have release variability that you can use on this ball and change the shape of the motion. Now we'll compare that to an IQ Tour 78. Biggest difference you're going to see with an IQ Tour 78, and this is at 360, is that it goes pretty straight from about 20 feet to 40 feet. You really don't see much shape at all with this ball, which as soon as the pattern starts to break down and I have to go away from it, for me, with my rev rate, I have to put this ball away, and I need a ball to go to. And the level looks like the ball I'm going to end up going to right before I go to something like this, where an Ion Pro is just a little touchy still, because this is still a pretty fresh pattern. It's pretty touchy, and I would have trouble really controlling the pocket with even an Ion Pro, which is not that strong on this pattern. So now let's compare that to a house shot. And on the house shot, it was good. It wasn't as good as I maybe thought it was going to be, but it definitely blends out the wet dry of a house shot. So I think if you get nice and soft and relaxed with it and just let it roll, it's a little bit like urethane that way, and you don't want to get too frisky with your speed or something like that's going to happen. If I'm a little more controlled with my speed and I just let it roll like that shot, then I get pretty good reaction. I started to realize that when I was filming this. So the last two shots, I rolled it a little better and I got good reaction. Now, a quick comparison to an Ion Pro. The Ion Pro is going to be pretty good on a house shot, but you can see how much more length you get out of an Ion Pro than you get out of the level. So it's really interesting just to watch these two balls in comparison to each other. So that's my review of the level. I think it's going to be a perfect fit for me between urethane and some of the weaker reactives. Thanks to Storm Vice and I Am Bowling for your sponsorship as always. And you can get this ball now at your local VIP Storm Pro Shop.